everyone, and welcome back to the presidential D&D campaign. It's really nice that I can just say that and not have to give a bunch of caveats about how we aren't playing D&D today.
So we are headed back to the Mists of Ravenloft.
The what of what?
Damn it, Joe.
From our D&D campaign like a year and a half ago. Remember?
No, we played Dungeons and Dragons last year.
Yes, Joe. You played as a gnome ranger or something. I was the greatest fighter the world has ever known. Donatello and Barack was playing some stupid and overpowered wizard.
I do miss my wizard. But yeah, Ben, so we are heading back there?
Not quite, though. We are reprising those same characters. However, we are going to be switching setting for a quick one-shot adventure. As the three of you are traveling from Loog, the Blind Hill Giant Oracle, back to Mantira Bay to confront the first champion of the Dark Powers. The Mists of Ravenloft begin acting strange, becoming much, much denser. It clings to your skin, and you can't see past the end of your nose. You hear off in the distance the cracking shrieks of one of the giant mist krakens, and then nothing. Silence. The mists clear away slightly, revealing that you are not where you were just moments ago. Now, you stand in the middle of a clearing in the forest, and far off in the distance, rising on a cliff high above, you see a castle.
Great. We teleported back to Castle Avernus? Come on, Ben. Why do you want us to go back there?
Even from this distance, you can tell that it is definitely not Castle Avernus that stands before you.
Interesting. Do we see any other landmarks or anything that looks familiar?
Hold on. Before we do that, I want to try to talk to Dr. Necrotech. This feels like it has his fingers all over it. I'll pull out the skull to start talking to him.
Reaching into your pocket, you find that the skull is not there. You also see that Nugget is missing as well, and most of your belongings did not make it through the mists, it appears. You have no food, no idea where you are, and just the clothes and equipment on your backs.
I still have my sword, though. I swear, Ben, if you stole my sword...
Wait, what equipment do I have?
Your character sheet is right there, Joe. You have whatever it says you have.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so what all did we lose then?
You don't have anything that was in your backpacks or inventory. Just your equipped items. All of your shadow shards and gold have vanished as well.
You robbed me, Ben?
I didn't. It was the mists or something else nefarious at work.
All right, guys, we've done this before. We get dropped somewhere. We don't know what's going on. I don't remember if you answered my question, Ben. Are there any landmarks or anything that looks familiar?
In between you and the castle, you see a couple of things. The forest you are in has a decent view of the land, and the Mists of Ravenloft seem a lot less present here and are clinging to the ground, giving you a clearer view for miles. The castle is a good distance away, and between you and it lies a marshy-looking swamp. You see what looks to be a little village in it as well. To your left is a smaller mountain, and to your right, a quite large one. You are in sort of ravine between the two.
This really seems like you are funneling us towards that swamp, Ben.
Not at all. If you want to go to the left and up the mountain, you can, or to the right as well. You could also head off into the forest and see if you find anything there.
Sure, if you say so. All right, should we head down to the buildings in the marsh then, guys?
I thought you just said you didn't want to go there.
I said no such thing, Joe. I simply said that Ben was funneling us there.
So you're okay with just following Ben's lead for once?
Not in the slightest. I just think that there are probably answers in the mysterious village that Ben plopped down in front of us.
Or it's a trap.
Probably both, if I had to guess. All right, I'm with you guys, though. Let's head down into the marsh and towards the village then.
As you exit the forest, you find yourselves almost immediately upon a rough stone path. It is weathered and worn, but has stood the test of time and wins its way down the hill into the swamp.
You know, Ben, I hadn't really thought about it, but you really like swamps and marshes. Like literally, it's almost at a FromSoft level at this point.
What's FromSoft?
The guys who made Dark Souls and Elden Ring. At least they aren't poison swamps, though, Donald.
Fair point.
Why would you have a poison swamp? That doesn't seem like very much fun.
You don't play those games for fun, Joe. That's what makes them fun.
Anyways, as you start to travel down the path and round a particularly steep bend, you see a low stone wall on the right of the road as the mists get thicker closer to the swamp. About halfway down the wall, you see a figure sitting against it, not moving at all. It looks over at you and reaches out a feeble hand before the hand drops again and the figure slumps.
I'll cast Cure Wounds as a first level spell.
Oh, now you remember how to play? I don't know if we should even save this guy.
Ben, as we get closer, does it look like a normal person, not a zombie?
It does look like a normal person, though also most of the people in Darkon look like normal people. You notice that it is a woman with clothes partially torn and a deep gash in her side. She coughs up a little bit of blood as you get closer. It looks like she has been attacked by some sort of monster.
I still want to cast Cure Wounds.
All right, roll for your healing.
That was an 8, so 9 points of healing.
So the gash in her side begins to stitch itself back together, and her breathing eases and slows. Her eyelids slump, and she passes into unconsciousness.
Well, shit, guys. What are we supposed to do here? I don't like the idea of waiting for her to wake up, and I definitely don't like the idea of taking her with us.
I'm proud of you, Donald. Maybe you have grown a little bit in the past couple of years. You didn't even consider leaving her behind.
Of course I considered it, but I knew that you guys would fight me on it. The dumb part about this current configuration of players is that I am always outnumbered, and you guys just veto me even when I am right.
What about when you're wrong?
It's never happened before, so I wouldn't know. Anyone who tells you otherwise just listens to fake news.
All right, I think maybe it'd be best to stay here until she wakes up. Or we could try taking her to the village. Maybe there is a healer of some sort there. There should be, if someone was able to get this injured so close.
Does it look like she came from the swamp or from the same way that we came, Ben?
Investigation.
Well, damn, that's a natural one.
God damn it, Joe. I should have been the one to roll. All right, Ben, can I try to roll investigation too?
Normally, and going forward, I think we should institute the rule that if one of you makes a check, then the others can't make the same check. But I'll allow it this time.
Thank goodness. Let's see if this game is as rigged as that last one we played. You gotta be kidding me. Like, seriously? Did one of you switch my dice with loaded ones or something?
Why? What did you get?
A 0. Like, literally, I also got a natural 1, and for some godforsaken reason, I have a -1 to investigation. God damn it. This is so rigged.
Language, Donald. That's a pretty terrible roll, though. Even worse than me.
You all are conspiring against me. I swear.
Well, it's impossible to tell where this woman came from. Her clothes are dirty, torn, and muddy, but that could have come from either the marsh or the hills, and there isn't a blood trail that you can find.
All right, I vote we take her to the village then.
Great. Let's take her back to the place that probably just tried to kill her.
We don't know that for sure, though. I'm with Barack.
Of course you are. Always voting against me.
Did you have a better idea, Donald?
Of course I had a plan, or at least concepts of one, which for me is a much better plan than this harebrained scheme that you two are sending us on. All right, let's take her to the village then.
Who is carrying her?
Obviously I have to. Barack is some weak little wizard, and Joe is literally like 3 feet tall.
Hey, I'm taller than that.
I do think it makes the most sense for Donald to carry her.
As you head into the swamp, you notice something strange, Donald. The woman you are carrying becomes lighter and lighter in your grip. Within seconds, you are just carrying a swaddle of clothes.
What the hell?
What's going on?
You hear a voice, an almost ethereal whisper in the wind.
Kindness is rare and must be repaid in full. True danger is ahead, but you must travel to the castle with haste. The ancient awaits. The land must be destroyed before time runs out.
From the bundle of clothes that Donald carries, 4 cards flutter out and fall to the ground, arranging themselves like a cross.
What sort of witchcraft is this, Ben?
Nothing quite like anything I've seen before.
That's foreboding. Can I take a look at the cards, Ben?
And I want to make an Arcana check, if that's okay.
I'll drop the clothes off to the side.
All right, let's start with your Arcana check, Obama.
Let's hope I have more luck than Joden and Donatello. Well, it's a good thing I have a +7 for Arcana. That was an 8, but now it is a 15.
There is definitely magic at work here, but it doesn't feel like the magic that you studied at the academy or have encountered before. This magic feels a bit more alive and adaptive, less clinical and controlled. There are definitely some things you could learn here.
Interesting. Can I detect if the person who cast the magic is nearby? Maybe that is who summoned us here.
You think we were summoned here?
Obviously, Joe. Something wanted us here, and then we just happened to find a wounded stranger by the side of the road. Come on, even you are smarter than that.
And of course, that was suspicious Donald. But also, the Mists of Ravenloft have a mind of their own sometimes. Maybe it was just the will of the Mist that we came here.
Could be. All right, Joe, you wanted to look at the cards, right?
Yeah, that's right. Do they look like playing cards or greeting cards or Magic the Gathering cards?
Obviously, greeting cards. Come on, Joe.
They look more like tarot cards.
Something is reading our fates. I'm guessing they didn't fall like that coincidentally. Probably shouldn't move them. Anyone know how to read these?
As if on cue, you once again hear the voice on the wind, and one of the cards almost begins hovering on a gust of wind. It bears the priest, the master of glyphs.
The history of the ancient, written by his own hand, will be found amid the ruins in a place of supplication.
The card floats back down, and a second one begins hovering. The paladin, the 2 of swords.
A powerful force of good will protect you from the land, to be found with the sleeping prince, the servant of light, and the brother of darkness.
As that one lands back on the ground, a third lifts up, the transmuter, the 1 of stars.
Power, strength, and light contained within the blade, overpowering the darkness with light. And it lies in the dizzying heights, where the stone beats with the power of its master.
And finally, the mists begin closing in as the final card lifts up into the air.
The ancient, with powers from beyond the shadow, waits in the Hall of Bones. Time runs thin. He must be destroyed, else all is lost.
The wind fades, and with it, the voice.
Damn, you guys know what this means, right?
Stop lying, Obama. You don't know what this means. If I didn't understand a single word of that, there's no way that you did.
Oh, come on, Donald. Even I see what we're up against now.
You guys are just lying right through your teeth. The audience knows it too. Fine if you are not lying. What are we up against, Joe?
We are in Barovia. Aren't we, Ben?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said that these were like tarot cards, but didn't say they were. This is Taraka, and we just had the fortunes of Ravenloft read for us. We are going to have to kill Strahd.
Oh, I see. It's not that you guys were smarter than me, just that you've been reading up outside of the game for knowledge we aren't supposed to have.
I don't know really anything about the module itself, just that Strahd rules in the castle, and the land is called Barovia. Sounds like pretty much just what Joe knows.
And I watched Relleke's videos on it. Man, that was a good series. Hope he comes back someday. Ben, can we link those videos here?
All right, yeah, you guys are correct. This is Barovia, but we aren't doing the full Curse of Strahd module today. There is a fun one-shot of sorts called Strahd Dies Tonight, intended to be run as a single session on Halloween. I extend that a little bit, threw it a twist or turn, but that's where we are now. And yeah, if you haven't watched any of Relleke's series, it is linked here and in the description. He played through the first part of the module. It was a lot of fun. All right, so the voice has faded away, leaving the three of you in the middle of the road on the edge of a swamp. The castle looms ominously in the distance, even more so now that you know for sure that is your destination.
Well, damn. All right, we should keep heading into the marsh then, right? The first card said that something could be found in the ruins in a place of supplication. I was thinking maybe that is this village. Would make sense why whatever it was that brought us here dropped us off on the other side of it.
I don't think that Ben said the buildings were ruins, though. It could just be a village, right?
That's true.
Either way, we have to keep going through the swamp for sure. Unless either of you have some other genius plan.
I don't. All right, let's go then.
As you follow the worn stone road deeper into the swamp, it begins to break up more and more until the still water from the swamp begins spilling over the edges. Eventually, only the occasional sighting of the road can keep you going forward, and you have to wade through ankle-high water in order to get from point to point. The loud buzzing of insects permeates the air, only broken by your disturbance of the water and the occasional croak of a frog.
All right, hold up there, Ben. I don't trust you in the slightest. You're definitely going to be putting some sort of alligator or crocodile or other monster in our path, and we are going to be ambushed. Can I make a perception check?
Sure thing.
God damn it, that's a 1. Not natural this time, but again, for some reason, I have a -1 to perception. Why is my character so weak? That is really out of character for him.
I know you mentioned not doing this, Ben, but can I make a perception check as well? I feel like I'd be trying to keep an eye out for things like that too, or at least trying to make out anything in this bog.
All right. Yeah, I think it makes sense in this case. Mostly I want that rule to apply to things like searching a room for a hidden chest or trying to sneak into a village, things like that. Joe, you can roll perception as well.
Damn, that's only an 11 for me.
And 8 for me.
Maybe this is Call of Cthulhu. We are not doing well on these rolls, guys.
Only because my dice are rigged.
Well, Joe, you don't see anything through the mist. However, Barack, you do notice a humanoid figure in the mist off to the side of the road, a good 20 or 30 feet out. You can just barely make out the shadowy outline.
Great, we're being watched.
Is it moving or anything, Ben?
At the moment.
I want to call out to it. Hey there, do you know where we can find that village? Is it still along the road?
That was the dumbest thing you have ever done, Joe.
Shut up, Donald. That was pretty smart. Now we can see if it is friend or foe. And if it is a foe, then it is far enough out that I can hit it with my short bow and Barack can fire some sort of spell.
There is no reply. The figure still has not moved.
How deep is the water between us and the figure?
You can roll a nature check, but I just gotta say, it is almost impossible to tell. The water is opaque and green, and you can't see the bottom of the water on the road, much less off into the marsh.
Can I make the nature check? I feel like as the ranger, that is something I should do.
Yeah, go for it, Joe.
All right, that wasn't a great roll. A 9 and my proficiency bonus is a 3, so that would be a 12. However, it says here that one of my favored terrains is swamp, so I think I get another +3 for a total of 15. Right, Ben?
Yeah, this would be the perfect time for favored terrain to be playing into the equation. All right, with a 15, you can make some pretty sound logical guesses, even though you don't know the exact depth. Looking at the trees, how far the water comes up on them, and the few mounds of earth, you'd guess at the deepest points, it would be about 4 feet deep. However, most of it would only be about 2.
That means in some spots it's deeper than you are tall, Joden.
Shut up, Donald.
That does make this a bit precarious for sure. I think Donatello should go first, then Joden, and I can take up the rear probably.
Of course, send me in first so that I can die in whatever ambush Ben is setting for us. Fine, whatever, I'll go first.
You guys are trying to head over to the figure then.
I guess so.
What is everyone's passive perception?
God damn it, Ben. Mine is a 9. God, I really need to remake my character. This guy is way too weak.
Mine's an 11.
I have a 14.
All right. As you begin wading over to the figure, Donatello, you feel something wrap around your leg. Do you want to make a dexterity saving throw?
I swear if I get another bad roll. Finally, that's a 14 minus 1 for dexterity. For some reason leaves me with a 13. At least it could have been worse.
You are able to keep your balance, but you do feel whatever it is grappling with your leg, trying to drag you down. All right, that seems like a good place to end this session, and we will pick up next time with rolling initiative.
Cool. It's been way too long since we have played Dungeons & Dragons.
Long enough that Joe doesn't even remember it.
Shut up, Donald. It's coming back to me.
Sure it is. Do you even remember where we were, who Thorn is? Or where we are heading back to?
Of course I do.
All right, guys, that's enough of that. Hopefully one day we can make it back to the full campaign.
Thanks, Obama. Yeah, we do still want to finish up our Darkon series, with the three of you fighting against the dark powers in an attempt to heal the land of Darkon and hopefully save the people of Loudwater in the process. But for now, we will just have to do some adjacent adventures.
That's not a bad thing, at least I don't think so. Our one-shots have been fun so far.
That's a good point, Joe.
To all of our viewers, if you liked the video, make sure to click the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of our next episode release. And check out the other videos on the channel if you haven't already. We play quite a bit of Call of Cthulhu Dungeons & Dragons. We did a one-shot of Root the RPG, and just last week we did a Goblin Quest run-through. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks for joining, everyone. We will see you all next time.